In just a month, the city of Selma will kick off the annual commemoration of Bloody Sunday, the day that voting rights marchers were beaten by state troopers on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. This is the 60th anniversary of the incident, which ultimately led to the passage of the U.S. Voting Rights Act. Each year, the Bridge Crossing Jubilee hosts special concerts, seminars, speeches, and a ceremonial bridge crossing reenactment.
We tell them the stories, they read about the history, but for them to actually be here and to see the bridge and to talk to these incredible heroes who helped make possible their lives, what a treat that was.
One of the foot soldiers was a woman who said she was 14 years old when she marched. She was so scared.
Right.
The woman who is 111, she made her go through with the march because she said, if you walk away now, you'll let your fears guide you and rule you forever.
We have now gotten rid of the formal barriers to voting. That was a monumental, heroic task. And yet more than half of us in many elections opt out. And if there's one thing to take away from Selma, it's that there is power
In that vote.
And there's power in people getting engaged when they do.
It still strikes a chord of hope, especially when we see young people come from across the country to witness and experience this commemoration.
And as many reflect on the sacrifices made by the foot soldiers in the March of 1965, some are inspired to keep fighting for voting rights for all.
We are going to fight back until we make sure that America is the best version of herself.
And we see the significance of us having to make sure that we don't take the vote for granted.
The original foot soldiers still vividly remember that moment when they faced their fears and marched over the bridge fighting for change, facing violent pushback from law enforcement.
Amy, this is Miss Boynton, 110 years old. She invited Dr. King to Selma. She was head of the Dallas Voters League. And along the highway is a letter she wrote to Dr. King. At Christmas time, she came to Atlanta to invite Dr. King here. He came on the strength of her invitation.
Be a human being, a citizen of the city of Selma, of the state of Selma.
What gave you the courage that day to face those state troopers?
I was born that way. My mother was a civil rights activist back then when I was born. And I worked with her at 11 years old. I worked with her when women's suffrage became a reality.
My name is Teresa Burroughs, and I'm from Greensboro, Alabama. And 50 years ago today, I was on Edmund Pettus Bridge.
What gave you the courage to do that?
The courage of the treatment, how they were treating us. They were treating us like we were foreigners, like we in a strange country, and that we had no rights at all. And I was determined to do something to let this generation of young men and women not to have to go through what we had to go through with.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Travel Mole broadcast. And my normal greeting is that I'm delighted to have my guest with me, but that's not the right term today. I'm actually privileged to have in front of me Diane Harris, who is one of the foot soldiers. And if you don't know what a foot soldier is in the civil rights movement, it's someone that actually put boots on the ground during it. We're actually here in Selma in Alabama, which was the site of a famous incident of Bloody Sunday. And I'm not saying I'm pleased, but Diane was involved.
At the age of 15, I was a part of the student movement. There were three major marches. There was the Ministers' March, the Teachers' March, and the Student March. I was affiliated, of course, with the Student March. I participated in a total of 4 marches, but of those 4 marches, 2 of them I was arrested. The first arrest, we as students were transported to a prison camp called Camp Selma, which was only about 7 miles west of Selma. We were fingerprinted, mugshots taken, and told that we would never have our records expunged. We spent only a couple of hours there. This was February of '65. Then 2 weeks later, I was arrested again at in downtown Selma area at a building called the National Guard Armory. We as students did spend the entire night at that armory. The third march was on Bloody Sunday. I never was able to cross the Edmund Pettus Bridge because I was at the back of the line. But on our way, I say our, I'm speaking of my brother and I, who was 13 at that time, we ran back when we heard the marchers being attacked. We could hear them yelling and screaming, crying. We could smell the tear gas. Then we started hearing horse hooves. The possemen were coming back from the Montgomery side of the bridge over to the Selma side. And we were actually chased by one of the possemen on horseback, eventually running us up the steps of Brown Chapel AME Church. State Capitol, that's where some 25,000 people gathered, and that was a beautiful sight because everybody that was there showed love and unity, and that's when we heard Dr. Martin Luther King give his famous "How long, not long" speech.
Do you think that we've made sufficient progress in terms of race relations, not just here in America, but globally?
I would say yes, we did initially make progress, but as time has gone on, I'm seeing a reoccurrence of the way things were back in the 60s. That's very disturbing and saddening to me. We have not made the progress in the 57 years that I think we should have. So I'll have to say the struggle truly continues.
What's your name?
George Allen.
And what are you doing in front of the Edmund Pettus Bridge?
When I walked across the bridge, I got on top of the bridge. I seen nothing but blue uniform. When I got off the bridge, I saw some of everything. That state trooper, civilian, sheriff, and everything. A lot of people love to talk about Bloody Sunday, but to me, it was more horrible before Bloody Sunday. It was Bloody Sunday.
We're back tonight as this weekend thousands of people will be in Selma, Alabama to remember Bloody Sunday.
Bridge Crossing Jubilee not only honors the past, but organizers say it's a march to the future.
I think we have a common goal, and that is to do something for Selma and to make sure that the Bridge Crossing remains the largest annual celebration of a civil rights event in history.